morning, pre-K. Today is Friday, October 30th. Does anybody know what tomorrow is? Tomorrow's a very, very exciting holiday. Tomorrow is, anybody know? Tomorrow's Halloween. So today we're going to be reading a story about Halloween in New York, and that's where we live. We live in New York. And then afterwards, we're gonna talk about some fun things that we might wanna do on Halloween. This year's gonna be a little different because of the virus that's been going around. You guys are learning from home this year. You guys aren't coming to school because we're trying to keep you safe, okay? We don't want anybody getting sick. So this Halloween might be different. We may not go trick-or-treating. We may do fun stuff at home. So I'm gonna inform you of a few things that maybe you could do that at home that would be fun, okay? But first, let's read our story that's called A Halloween Scare in New York. This is a very, very old book. So the pages are kind of falling apart. So just be patient. It says, prepare, if you dare, for a big New York scare, a tale of pure terror to whiten your hair. A night full of sights that are best left unseen. You ready? You sure? This was my Halloween. So see how there's rips in the pages? Because it's an old book. The werewolves howled loudly. The moon shone so bright. I stayed in my bedroom, the curtains shut tight. My heart started pounding. My knees felt so weak. But being a brave kid, I just had to peek. He doesn't want to look outside, but he's gonna see what's out there. What is going on? I pulled back the curtains, my mouth open wide. An army of monsters had gathered outside. They staggered and stumbled and lurched down the streets with bags full of cookies and candy corn treats. Emerging from sewers and houses and stores came creatures and critters with ravenous roars. Then more came along from all over the state. They filled up the streets at a dizzying rate. There's monsters everywhere. You think they're real monsters? I think he's really thinks there's real monsters out there. From Syracuse, Albany, Yonkers, and Corning, a mountain of monsters arrived without warning and gathered together for one spooky night to seek out the living and give them a fright. Let's see. The thunder clapped loudly with terrible booms. The witches dodged lightning and clung to their brooms. The two-headed doggies tried chasing their tails, and banshees let loose with their hideous wails. The vampires hung out on the street in their gangs and grinned just to show off their pearly white fangs. The mummies moaned loudly and swayed side to side, while Frankenstein stomped about town with his bride. There they are, all hanging out outside. The Statue of Liberty. Who's been to the Statue of Liberty? I have. The Statue of Liberty went trick-or-treating. The treats were so tasty she couldn't stop eating. She gobbled up candy and donuts with jelly until she had filled all the space in her belly. And then she drank soda until she bloated. The bubbles were lighter than air, so she floated. She drifted down the streets like a giant balloon until she broke wind and shot up to the moon. She shouldn't have eaten all that food. The creepies were crawly, the crazies were crazed. The Manhattan zombies had eyes that were glazed. The ogres from Brooklyn were ugly as sin, with big bulging noses and warts on their chin. The ghouls danced around, but were lacking in soul. The gargoyles could rock, and the headless could roll. Although the whole spectacle seemed to spell doom, I foolishly thought I'd be safe in my room. It's like, whatever is going on outside, I'm safe. But then something happened that made my heart jump. From somewhere below me, I heard a thump. I froze for a moment, as quiet as a mouse. Yes, I could hear noises from inside the house. Oh no, somebody's in the house. Who's in the house? I put on my slippers and pulled on my robe. I shook like a leaf, but I don't think it showed. Then slowly but surely I crept down the stairs, preparing myself for the biggest of scares. My hands trembled wildly. I opened the door. I still shudder now at the horrors I saw. The stereo spat out some hideous sounds as dozens of monsters jumped madly around. There's monsters out the door? What? Oh. The sight was horrific. It made my skin crawl. These monsters were having a Halloween ball. And right in the middle, one monster loomed tall, the hairiest, scariest monster of all. He's wearing a shirt that says, "I love New York." What do you think's going on? There's all these monsters in his house, and they're dancing, and they're having a ball. He turned around and saw me. I fell to my knees. "I'm not very tasty, so don't eat me, please." He beamed ear to ear and broke free from the huddle, ran over and gave me a big monster cuddle. Hey, he's nice. There's nothing to be afraid of. "At last, we have found you," he said with a smile. "From Long Beach to Lockport, we've looked for a while. We came here to give you your wonderful prize." He held up a trophy in front of my eyes. "A prize? And for me?" I replied with a grin. "But what did I enter and how did I win?" "You've won the first prize for the costume you're wearing. It even scares me, and I'm tip-top at scaring." "What? You just came downstairs and won a trophy for best costume?" "This isn't a costume. I'm just dressed as me. Exactly the scariest thing you can be. A small human child with a cute button nose. Your teeth are so shiny. You've only 10 toes. No hair on your face and no horns on your head. The whites of your eyes are not glowing or red. A bone-chilling costume, a horrible sight. A worthy ensemble for a Halloween night." So he's winning for just being a kid. We partied together until the moon set, a Halloween night that I'll never forget. And next year, I won't want to hide in my bed. The monsters won't scare me. I'll scare them instead. Isn't that a cute story? So, if you notice in the story, this little boy did not go out trick-or-treating. And some of us will not be going out trick-or-treating this year because we have to take precautions, which means that we have to be cautious and we want to stay safe. So some of us might be thinking of some ideas that we can do at home. So at my house, my son loves Halloween, so we go all out and we decorate the inside of our house and we decorate the outside of our house too with all different pumpkins and skeletons and zombies and all this different stuff. So we're trying to make it just as fun this year, even though it's going to be a little different from other years. So we're also going to be carving pumpkins. We're going to open it up. We're going to see what's inside. We're going to take all the guts out. We're going to do some science experiments, and we'll put some yeast and I think it's baking soda, vinegar, and we're going to make it all bubble up and make it fun, put some food coloring in it. There's all different ideas, and I'm gonna send in the email to Mommy and Daddy some different ideas of things that they can do in the house that will be just as fun and make Halloween just as special, okay? I'm gonna also include some worksheets that have some Halloween themes, cutting out some Halloween words like spider and ghost. And I'm also going to send you some other Halloween stuff that you could work on, but I want you to have a really, really fun Friday, and I want you to have a really, really fun Saturday. And if you do decide to go trick-or-treating, we would love to see pictures of you guys in your costumes. You could even dress up at home and have a costume party. Just like they did, they had a costume party right downstairs in his house. They didn't have to leave the house. They just dressed up at home. So if you want to dress up at home, if you want to tell scary stories, you could have a contest on who could give the scariest story. There's all different things that you can do just in your house or in your backyard. So we want to hear what you fun fall activity or fun Halloween activity you did at home. If you went trick-or-treating, send us a picture in your costumes trick-or-treating. If you opened up a pumpkin, send us a picture of you with the pumpkin. If you carved a pumpkin, anything. If you make a special treat for Halloween, if you bake special cookies, if there's a special candy that you eat for Halloween, send us a picture of that, okay? But I'm also gonna send a few worksheets of things that you can do. But the most important part is that we want you to be safe. We want you to have a fun time, and you know, things are just different this year, but we're gonna make the best of it, right? That's what we always do. We're making the best of everything. So I hope that you have a wonderful Halloween, a wonderful Friday, and have a safe weekend. And thanks for reading A Halloween Scare in New York with me. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, bye-bye.